The Eagle Bank Bowl was one of those roller coaster rides you often see in college football. The Owls looked so good for 2 quarters, but it all fell apart in the final 2 quarters. Joe Polinsky takes a look at just what went wrong over the final 30 minutes in Temple's loss to the Bruins.
In the 2009 Eagle Bank Bowl, it was the best of times for the first 30 minutes and the worst of times for the final 30 minutes in all 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. Temple saw its 11-point halftime lead disappear midway through the 4th quarter, thanks to a UCLA Bruin program that is not shy of airing out the ball.
We didn't convert as well as we had been on offense. That created opportunities for them. Left our defense on the field too long, and then give them credit, they made some plays. So, you know, in the end, they made more plays than us, and we didn't convert enough on 3rd down.
The Cherry and White came in with the nation's 34th ranked defense, and it showed early on, with UCLA completing only 44% of its passes. In the second half, however, the Bruins made adjustments, as freshman Kevin Prince found extra time in the pocket, completing 60% of his passes, and picked apart the Owl secondary, which few opponents have done this year.
He's a very poised quarterback, so you know, he's not bothered by too many things. We wanted to, you know, try to just disguise and, you know, do things the normal way that we could, but you know, he kept his poise and he did what he was supposed to do.
Temple's best defense was to keep the Bruins off the field, and with Bernard Pierce's shoulder injury late in the 2nd quarter, the Owls couldn't seem to control the ball. In fact, 4 of the 5 called rushing plays in the 4th quarter were for losses. And even though the scoreboard didn't reflect a victory, the team still took home another lesson.
That we can contend with a top 25, potential top 25 team, you know, BCS team.
To have confidence going in, to prepare hard, and then let it rip. That's what our guys did today. I was really proud of them. They came out with a lot of energy, a lot of fire, a lot of confidence, and you know, they built a little bit of a lead there. We didn't quite finish the way we needed to, but hopefully they'll understand that.
Even though the Owls fell short, they conclude their season at 9-4 overall, with their first postseason appearance in 30 years. Congratulations, Temple, on a great year. Reporting for Owl Sports Update, I'm Joe Polinsky.
Despite the loss, you can't help but feel good about the season and the players who made it happen. It's all an impressive list of honors for the Owls. In the MAC, Al Golden, Coach of the Year, Adrian Robinson, Defensive Player of the Year, and Bernard Pierce, Freshman of the Year. Temple also had 8 first-team All-MAC selections, including Pierce, Robinson, and linebacker Elijah Joseph. There were 2 second-teamers and 4 third-teamers, in all 4 offensive linemen received honors. So it's no wonder Pierce had such a great season. Before Temple was invited to the Eagle Bank Bowl, there were rumors of all sorts of possible road trips, including Toronto and Detroit. The trip to D.C. turned out to be a good one, as Temple fans didn't need a passport or a plane ticket. Dan McKinney's in the newsroom with more on the fans and their road trip down I-95. Dan?
Thanks, Dan. $35, and that's what it cost Temple students who wanted to reserve their ticket and a seat on one of the 6 student buses heading south down I-95 to this year's Eagle Bank Bowl. For most college-bound bowl teams, fan support is a concern. That's why the Eagle Bank Bowl was such a gift for Temple fans, students, and alumni making the 2.5-hour trip from Philly to Washington, D.C. It's not a story of planes, trains, and automobiles, but rather a trip by bus. Tuesday morning, 250 Temple students gathered outside the Student Center, lining up to board one of the 6 student buses en route to Washington, D.C. It's been 30 years since Temple played in their last bowl game, and now these eager fans were just 138 miles away from this year's Eagle Bank Bowl. It's amazing what winning can do for a fan base. It helps them forget about the miles, tolls, rest stops, and of course, Mother Nature.
Could be colder, could be snowing. This is it. I got shorts underneath this.
As everyone got off the bus, it was time to break out the jackets, scarves, and winter hats before making the final walk to the stadium before a frigid evening at the game.
So 3 hours later, we finally made it here to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where the parking lot here at the RFK Memorial Stadium has turned into a sea of cherry and white. The tailgate festivities have already begun.
Go Temple Owls!
From the parking lot to the stadium, Temple fans took their seats just in time before kickoff. Reporting from the Eagle Bank Bowl, Dan McKinney, Owls Sports Update.
Thanks, Dan. One high-profile fan in attendance was Temple's athletic director, Bill Bradshaw. Before the game, I pulled him aside to talk about the state of the Temple football, which included asking him about how special a game like this is for the program.
Well, when you consider that it was 30 years ago, the last time that Temple played in a bowl, 1979, against another West Coast team from the Pac-10, Cal, you know how special this moment is to all of us at Temple. Not just the players, but the former players, the administration, the students, all those people who waited 30 years to be here. And what an opponent, what a stadium, what a place to be.
Now, could you compare this year's team to the 79 team? Is this year's team better than 79?
You know, that's an interesting question. I just was with two guys from the 79 team, and they're going to claim that there was nobody better than those guys, and I'm sure that these guys are going to say the same thing. So it's always a good question to ask, but you know, they both made bowls. This team would have to win today to get to 10 wins. Right. So that 79 team could always say, hey, we won 10 if Temple doesn't win today.
Al Golden's had such great success here. Is there any concern that he might be heading to a BC school or anything like that?
You know, Al is one of the great coaches in the country. And none of us, whether it's West Virginia a couple years ago or Temple this year, are really immune from losing our coaches, our best coaches. But I think we have a good chance to keep Al. He wants to be here. He's got a great team returning next year. So that's all I hope for, year to year with our best coaches.
And there is no question Temple football is in a good place. With Temple's 9-game win streak and the bowl game, we wonder how this Temple team compared to the other bowl team of 1979. On offense, the 79 team was great both in the air and on the ground, averaging more than 200 yards per game in both categories. In fact, they averaged more than 400 yards of total offense per game. On defense, the 2009 team did a better job with takeaways, but the 79 team was strong in yards and points allowed. With Coach Golden and Bernard Pierce returning next season, the Owls will look to take another step towards back-to-back bowl games. But we can't forget about the incredible journey these young men have gone through this season. Here again is Dan McKinney.
Hey, we're on the big stage now. Let's show what we got. Let's go, show them what we got. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your
So the season began, full of hope, promise, and excitement. Led by head coach Al Golden, Temple fought hard every game.
We went out there to win.
And the Owls ran away with win after win after win, letting no team stand in their way. This is a team that fights for their fans, their school, and their honor. This season put Temple football back on the map, thanks to a 9-game win streak, winning a share of the MAC East, and going to the team's first bowl game in 30 years. Temple football is now a force to be reckoned with.
If you didn't enjoy that, I mean, you don't like football.
And that will do it for this special bowl edition of Owls Sports Update. Just think, spring football is only about 2 months away. I'm excited. On behalf of the Owls Sports Update crew, I'm Dan Sermon. Thanks for watching and have a great new year.